We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made on YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
I'm not getting fishy after Monday Night Raw.
What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Monday, November 10th. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties earlier, but we are back in the game now. It was actually totally my fault. That's neither here nor there. I have a sweet crew riding with me, and it's Mailbag Monday. So we've got all kinds of great questions that have been submitted and hot takes by the fans of the program. But before we get started, let me introduce my co-hosts. First and foremost, let me send this one out. And I almost got myself messed up here to basically also the DMV, if we're being real here, but to Queen Angie herself. Angie Diva is in the building. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. It's so good to be back. I feel like it's been almost a week since I've been on, so I'm glad to be here for another Mailbag Monday. And I'm actually really curious about these next subjects, so I hope we have a nice fun time today.
No doubt about it. We got some good stuff here coming up. Sorry about that. I just absolutely completely spoiled our other cast member, but get your twos up. It's a Monday, but get your twos up for the Tuesday night delight. It's Shoddy. What's good? Oh, now you're muted. The best time.
God, this is crazy. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Shad Talks Graps, and I am back for Mailbag Monday. It's been a while since I've done one of these shows. There are some wonderful topics to talk about today, and I'm one of the most polarizing, opinionated people in the entire world of wrestling media, so I'm sure everyone's going to love it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, 100%. Polarizing for sure. Unlike me, who's obviously just completely by the book and straight down the middle with the fans in the comment section, right, Shad? No, but
is that what we're calling it?
we have one baby face here, Angie, joining us in the whole group. But let's get into our first topic of the afternoon here, and that is, should Roman Reigns have another reign? This question was submitted by _fantasy faction, and this is Roman should have another reign that lasts 2+ years. This is a hot take, not a question. Look, to each their own here. I think the back end of this statement is harder to deal with than just the simple statement of, should Reigns have another reign? I think the answer is probably yes. Roman Reigns should have another reign. Should it be 2+ years? Probably not. That would be egregious. That would be aggressive. That would be a little bit copycat-like. And it also wouldn't make a heck of a lot of sense, because I don't even know if he's going to appear as many times as he has during, or as he basically has of late, or during the initial run, when people complained about how often he showed up in the first place. Angie, I'll go to you out of the gates, though, here. What do you think about Roman Reigns having another long reign, 2+ years specifically?
No, absolutely not. Because like we already did it. We did the long reign with Roman Reigns already. We've been there, done that. Like, if they do decide to give him another title reign, perfectly fine. Not 2+ years. Not that again. Because at this point, because of the fact that he's barely on screen anymore, we're going to run into the problem of him basically pulling a Brock Lesnar and just coming up like maybe a handful of times throughout the year. That's not going to really work out. Wait a minute. Hold on. My mistake. He already did that during the long reign that he already had, where he was barely there as it was. We all know why. I understand. Health comes first. I get it. But do we really want to risk that again? No. And besides, with the last time we also had all of that interference and everything. Maybe because of the fact he's solo, maybe it might be different. But all in all, another 2+ years of a title reign, nah, that's not gonna work. It's a no for me, dog.
I'm with you 100%, Angie, especially because here's the problem. You've already really told the dominant story where he builds the odds against everybody he could potentially face with his family and all of that. So if he's going to have another dominant reign, does he not just sort of become like a weird Brock Lesnar clone then?
Exactly. We don't need that. We already got one of them, and he needs to have stayed gone anyways.
We're not going to redo the bloodline. We aren't. Now, that is not to say, though, that he shouldn't win the title again. I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns having a short reign, and you're just going to run yourself into trouble with puns and reign and reigns and reigns, and we've got as many reigns as a Western movie at this stage. It's ridiculous. But Shadi, I do have to get your opinion on this subject. Do you see a scenario where it would make sense to put the title on Roman Reigns for 2 or more years, as is suggested in this hot take?
Yes. Let's give him another long title reign. This is a roster that needs star power. This is a roster on the main title scene has felt hollow. The product hasn't felt important since Roman Reigns has been champion. And what is a quick way to solve that? You go back to the old trick in the book and you let him revive and fix those issues. Post WrestleMania 40 has been some of the worst main roster, main title picture landscape I've seen in quite a while. Like, I think Cody Rhodes was given the why when he got the title against Roman, and it was a feel-good story and he was a fighting champion. But it got boring. Then he loses it to Cena, and then he gets back to Cena. It's been a revolving door, and nothing has felt rejuvenated. Nothing feels special about it. But I don't even want him to touch Cody's belt. That Raw title does not feel any significant because that was the belt that was not won off of Roman Reigns. That feels like a secondary title. That feels no different than an Intercontinental or U.S. Championship, in my humble opinion. How do you make that title mean something? You put it on the big dog. You put it on the biggest star in the entire company in the men's division, and that is Roman. That doesn't need to be fine. Whatever. How many days he had? Like 600 days almost? I don't know. If you could tell a story good enough, potentially. But I do think he should win that title, and I thought he should have got the title off of Seth Rollins after the injury happened. Like, that is where you go and make things feel important. It just does not feel important right now. And I like CM Punk a lot, but Punk ain't winning off nobody to make that title feel important. Jay wasn't going to win it off anybody that made that title feel important. If Roman got the belt and Punk beat him, now that's a different story. If Jay got his comeuppance and beat him, now that's a different story. Breaker beats Roman Reigns, that's a different story. If Seth Rollins returns from injury and beats Roman Reigns, that's a different story. You need to have someone that makes that title mean something. And if that means Roman has to have a big-time title reign, so be it, in the words of Clips.
I hear you there. Okay, here's my only caveat. To me, I don't think Roman Reigns needs another title reign to last that long. And there's 2 priorities, though, that do need to happen because we're going to run out of time. And that's what scares me the most about booking Roman Reigns over the next few years, Shad. And Angie, I think you might be on the same page on this one as well. We're gonna
exactly
run out,
because
no, hang on, Angie.
Oh, sorry.
Go
ahead.
We're gonna run out of time on Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns 3, and we're gonna run out of time on Rock Reigns. Is not just a Hall of Fame baseball player; it's a dream match. Rock Reigns has to happen in our lifetime. It just does. It would be the ultimate stone left unturned. Are you kidding me? I mean, as bad as it was, we at least got Sting Triple H. We didn't get Sting Undertaker like we all wanted.
Yeah, we wanted that one.
We all wanted that one. and we never got it. Don't do this with Rock Roman, and don't do this with the rubber match between Roman and Cody. I look at the next calendar year, and you're talking about WrestleMania Vegas 2. And there was only one real complaint coming out of WrestleMania Vegas 1, as I like to call it, last year at WrestleMania 41. And that was the night 2 main event, John Cena and Cody Rhodes. If there is one way to change that narrative about WrestleMania in Vegas, you put Roman and Cody 3 on the poster like it's Tyson Holyfield 3 in Vegas. You bring back the old Vegas vibes. It's that one. You can put that poster on the strip from January till April and nobody will miss it. It'll be the most important match you could possibly book. I think now is the time to do it. I think this year is the time to do it. The Atomic Merp, friend and member of the show, member of the program, Mary, said it's like what we talked about on Saturday. It is very much. I think it's time to pull the trigger on that one, because I think the only chance of us seeing Roman and Rock is in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania 43. I think that's the scoop on hoops there. I think that's the only way we get it. I don't think Roman carries the belt until then. But let's get both out of the way in this next year, because we don't know what the future holds for Roman Reigns.
If he's going against Cody at Mania 42, he's got to beat him.
I think so too. I think so too. And then I think The Rock
costs him. And he holds the belt for a year. And
I think The Rock costs him, and then you can do the final boss versus the Tribal Chief without a belt in Saudi Arabia as one of the main events.
It's difficult. No. That match, I feel it has to have the belt on it, man.
No, because even we know that The Rock's not going to carry it.
It's just the exhibition match.
That's even no, there's enough story there. There's enough juice between Rock and Roman.
My bad. The Rock's best movie series, Family.
Family. I thought it was the Tooth Fairy.
There's still a problem with that, though.
What's up?
There's still a problem because did we all forget what The Rock's contract is? What can he not do? Lose.
Oh, I don't think that's what his contract says. I mean, he's a board of directors guy, so he's booking the matches. He's likely not going to lose, and that's why they call him the final boss.
I didn't know it said on his contract.
No, that's
it's not on there. No, I kid you not. Real. Like, there's a clause in his contract. Yeah. It's like either one of his weird asks.
Have a contract. Yeah, he doesn't have a contract. He's on the board of directors, so like he's not a talent. He doesn't have a contract that
I swear if I look this up.
Well, I'm telling you right now, that's just not there's no way. Yeah, thank you, Donnie DeSilva here with that's not true, Angie. I hate to be that guy, but like that's factually completely false. Like that's just not. It's not even it wouldn't make sense from a corporate standpoint if you have him on the board of directors with a clause in his contract that says
his
he can't
ego
lose.
Might not want him to lose.
He may have. Yeah, Donnie with no talent ever would have that clause. He may have a clause that says that he has final say creatively, but that's outside of kayfabe, right? Those are two different conversations. That's outside of kayfabe. Creatively, if he decides he's not going to lose, given his standing in the company, then likely without a clause, he does have that power to be like, no, I'm not going to lose.
So sure. you're saying like he went ahead and just wrote himself of not losing at all anywhere.
I don't understand where that came from. Like I don't know. I mean, the final boss character was that's a television character, right? That was written by him and creative for sure. But my point is that it's still a character. Like he can lose. Like Roman can beat him at WrestleMania 100%. That is, yeah. Like I just don't know where you got that info from, Ange. Is the only thing the on the contract thing, because that it just seems like a little out there. You know what I mean?
It may seem like a little out there, but like as far as for like any type of media that he's been in, there hasn't been a moment where he's actually like losing losing, or like, actually, okay, maybe I might have seen it wrong, but like, it's not like he's actually like that character gets like a death or something of that nature, because like every time when he's put into a role, it's always like there may be some misfortune that comes upon this character, but like nothing really like bad happens to where like the character loses really.
I mean,
And with
he definitely
and I
got
guess I might have
sustained.
just seen it as more of a speculation.
Yeah,
Because like it's really weird of the fact that like I can't really think of the last time that The Rock lost, or like him in a role where like his character loses.
I mean, he
I can't
definitely got
think of the last
sustained by
one.
the Undertaker against Cody. You know, like in the finish the story match, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, I hear where you're coming from.
Mhm.
And he did take the loss to Cena. That was obviously a long time ago. But I do think it's just like he's a major player in creative. But I do think they're like
Mm.
the final boss character. The point is that he's impossible to beat. But if
Mm.
you're going to write a character like that, I think that somebody like Roman Reigns is the perfect one to defeat him. And I think that's sort of like where at least I was at when it came to that one. But we do have to keep it rolling here today.
Yeah.
And this one is quite interesting here. So let me read this aloud. It's from @Tyler_Vickers_. And that's NXT has been the best brand / show this entire year, and it isn't even close, in my opinion. And that's with a period, not even a question mark, Shad. I can see by the look on your face, you've got quite a few things to say about this one. We cover it every Tuesday night. You talk to me about it the Tuesday Night Delight.
So I want to preface, if I'm gonna assume that this fan is noting it for the WWE shows, and if that's the case, he's still wrong. NXT, maybe I'd say 2023, bits of in the 2024 felt like the most cohesive show on weekly television for the WWE. All the storylines were connected. A lot of rising stars came into the peak. You had a influx of a women's division that was, and I will always say it, the 2023 to 2024 women's division in NXT will go down in history as one of the best peak women's divisions in North American wrestling history. It's just one of the best of all time. But let's kind of go into this 2025 calendar year as we are almost done with it. NXT has substantially dipped. They have lost a lot of talent due to call ups, due to releases, whatever it may be. And it's showing. And for you to try to say that it is the best weekly television show, I have to highly disagree. If it comes to WWE, Monday Night Raw to me is leaps and bounds the best WWE weekly television show. Ever since they went to Netflix, you can tell that there is a need for them to go above and beyond. There is a balance of a lot of big time moments happening, big time stars coming into the place, and honestly, a great balance within the women's division and the men's division. You see the big time stars like Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, etc. show out, but then you'd have Seth Rollins. You have new people like Penta come into the place, and everything kind of feels important. You feel like you need to watch Raw on a week-to-week basis because something big time is going to happen. For NXT, it feels way more developmental than it has in the last few years. The green is green. The green is very green. The men's division is very hollow right now. They've tried to fill out spots by adding people via free agency from AEW, like Ricky Saints. They've worked to try to develop these guys from LFG and all these independent guys from the ID program, but it's developmental. And what can you expect? You can't expect a whole bunch of rookies to go out there and win 82 games in an NBA season, 17 games in the NFL season. Like, it's just not going to happen. And you have to kind of go with the ebbs and flows of it. If you're grading it on a scale a little bit down because it is developmental, that's fine. But I can't do that because I have to go off of what I've seen in the last few years. And I've seen them go above and beyond. I've seen the product be hot to where it is now. It feels a lot more lukewarm to borderline cold. And at that point, I'm not too mad. It's one of those things in pro wrestling, man. Once people are good, they got to get called up. They got to be put in the higher positions. You can't have Lyra, you can't have Roxanne, you can't have Stephanie on NXT forever, right? You can't have Braun Breaker in NXT forever. Julia could have stayed in NXT, but I digress.
No, I'm only saying it because I'm like, shoot, man.
Yeah,
I'm 100% on the same page. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but it's not in 2025. It's been one of the weaker shows on the WWE. Like, I would say it's maybe middle of the pack. I still find SmackDown the least to enjoy on a weekly basis, but I think Monday Night Raw has been the high point for WWE this year. And if we're talking about totality in pro wrestling, I am sorry, good buddy. There is nothing NXT on a weekly basis does compared to a Dynamite, in my opinion. Like, I'm way more inclined to watch a Dynamite than I am to watch NXT. And I watch NXT every week because I review it every week.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, nobody has watched more NXT over the last few years than basically you, me, and Drizzy. You know what I mean? It's every single Tuesday night. And when you look at like this current iteration feels a little bit like NXT 2.1. It's 0.1 better than what NXT 2.0 was, right? Like, it's just slightly better. It's not as bad, but it's not that much better. And I mean, this cracked me up from Donnie. He just said Julia's about to get a monster push. I'd be all for that. Chad is gonna realize
if you right, you right, good brother. I'm never prone to admit that I'm wrong about anything. So we'll wait and see.
No doubt about it. But before we wait and see, you're not going to have to wait and see all of the great things that we have coming up this week. If you haven't checked all of the stuff out, you need to hit the notifications button. Check out the weekly podcast immediately after this show. If you haven't already, me, Ben, and Shad broke down all of last week. It was excellent. Allison analysis, of course, you're going to see on Wednesday. Thursday, you're going to see top 10. Friday, you're going to see the top 5 takes of the week. And then, of course, we've got a great schedule daily wise this week. And then also, just a little bit of heads up, keep your eyes peeled. We got a little interview coming out on Sunday Spotlight. Me and Shad are going to be interviewing 5150. That's Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie. So that'll be a fun one as well. It's a sweet time to be at WR, no doubt about it. Let's keep it rolling, though, on this Monday mailbag show. And let me get into the next one. I just do want to make sure that I get the name of the submission right. And we've got from Rylan Davey 06. And that is Seth Rollins is the best wrestler of the modern era. This is a hot take, or maybe not a hot take. I'm not sure. Angie, I'm going to ask you your thoughts. Do you agree? Is Seth Rollins the best wrestler of the modern era? And if you disagree, who do you think is the best wrestler of the modern era?
This one is actually really interesting because, like, I'm thinking from the call up into him being part of the Shield all the way up to today. I think I'd actually have to agree. Because for me, he ticks all of my boxes. He's good on the mic. He's also good in the ring, and also, like, when it comes down to storytelling, it's actually pretty good. I like the mind games that he was doing. It kind of reminded me of the mind games that, like, Randy Orton would do, like, during his Legend Killer times. As soon as I said mind games, I'm thinking of that one match with him and Roman Reigns, where this dude really came out to the Shield music, came out the same entrance and everything. And I'm just like, oh dear. And what makes it really cool is the fact that he's paired with people who can also really tell a good story. Like, for instance, as soon as the Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, like, as soon as that was going, you could see the shock, and he didn't just do that look on Roman's face. Like, he's paired with some really good people to go ahead and tell that story. sometimes it doesn't always go through properly. Like we all remember with that one Hell in a Cell match that I'm not going to get into today. But yeah, I'd have to
100%.
agree.
So you're gonna put Seth one. I like that. So Shoddy, now let's all three give our pick. Who do you have as best wrestler of the modern era? Do you think it's Seth Rollins? Do you agree with that statement, or do you have somebody else?
And that goes in totality with everything, character wise, in ring, the whole nine. It's hard, man. I think he's definitely in the mix for that off of notoriety off of what he's accomplished. I think to me, Seth is gonna be like one of the most I don't even want to say underrated, but I feel like his accolades and his presence will, be good in the test of time, like after he's done with this sport and done with the industry. And one of the things with him is like you don't even realize how incredible of a wrestler he was prior to that major injury he had. Like that guy could go 100 miles per hour with the best of them. Like we talk about these, wrestlers that we see doing big time stuff nowadays. Like he was in that same ballpark prior to injury, but after that, he's just kind of progressed and really learned his body and learned as a veteran with things. And he's so good at reinventing himself. So it's honestly between him and Roman, in my opinion. I think Roman in ring wise is not up there with Seth, but I don't know if I'll give it to Seth. I'll be respectful. I will give it to Seth Rollins.
I think Seth is definitely in the conversation. Modern era is tough to define because if Randy Orton is in that category, then no. If Bryan Danielson's in that category, then no. If numerous people are in that category, then no. He might not be the best guy in the Shield. He might be the third best guy in the Shield. When Jon Moxley's at his finest, that's the only thing for me. And it's such a broad conversation. I'm not saying I think that Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley is better than Seth Rollins. I'm just saying that you can make that argument. And it's crazy to me that three people that paired together, that were a trio, are basically the entire conversation. Because if AJ Styles is in this convo, then it's a little different in my eyes, at least as far as recency bias and things of that nature are concerned. I mean, I've got a few other names that I would throw in. I'd throw Hangman Adam Page in that category for modern wrestlers.
What's the timeline we talking about with modern?
Yeah,
wrestling?
how modern are we talking? Because if we're talking right now,
I don't think right now. I don't think Seth is the best right now. But like, what is modern day wrestling from a time table? In my opinion, like
such a good question.
It's a tough one because to me, like I agree with, like to me, the biggest superstar in modern day pro wrestling has to be Roman Reigns. Off of like Roman made wrestling on a landscape for like mainstream, very interesting and very cool again.
Donnie echoed that sentiment here earlier, and I feel bad. Let me run through a bunch of comments here really quick because I feel like I'm not trying to ignore the comment section. We've just been having a bunch of convo here, but Roman is horribly underrated in ring. That's what Donnie said too. So Shad, yeah, I hear you there 100%. Also, we've got in the house WrestleManiac UK,
my boy.
Friend of the show, what's good? What's up, family?
What's good, bro?
Define the generation, please. Between which years? Yes, I'm with you there. He's definitely the third best member of the Shield, though, and agreeing with me on that. I think I do. In my mind, I hate to admit that because it's funny. I'm a Chicago kid, right? I have every reason to really like Seth Rollins. I really like everything about, especially off screen, Seth Rollins. Like, just I think he's a cool dude. He's a Midwest guy, sort of like me, right? Like, and I guess so is Moxley. He's a Midwest dude as well. From Cincinnati, but at the same time, like I just have a hard time putting Seth ahead. The weirdest part is I think Seth is arguably the most valuable when they're a group, but then like who was the most effective once the split happened? Like Seth we've talked.
Best? You think he's the third best in the faction though?
In the Shield, yeah.
Like just off of total, it's so hard, bro.
I know it's brutal, but
It's
here's the
'cause to
thing:
me,
every
to me,
time,
go ahead.
every time he's been handed the keys,
Mm-hmm.
it's been pretty good for like a flash. But remember, he got the ultimate opportunity to be the guy that was the one that split from the other two with the chair shot in the back.
Mhm.
That was big for him. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go from there and you leak into sort of essentially he becomes the architect and then the ultimate opportunist, sort of Edge like, right? He has the big moment at Mania, Beast Slayer and stuff. But then that's been babyface turn, heel turn, Monday Night Messiah, group here, group there. Do we chant for him? Do we not? Now he's a fashionista. Nobody's changed their gimmick and character more times, and a lot of times it's felt out of necessity. Ever since Dean, other than carrying the red wagon, which wouldn't have been his call, there's only really been one John Moxley, either or two, good or bad. But he's pretty much the same guy, and it's easier to follow. And he carried the company at that stage. And then here's WrestleMania X UK with Rollins being the third best in the Shield, shows you how high those boys set the bar. There's no doubt. And then Donnie added Mox has far and away been the third best. We know you don't like AEW, Donnie. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yo, chill. Chill. I don't know, man. It's a tough one. It's honestly, I think it's like a 1A, 1B, 1C situation. On Mox's standpoint, I think you got to give him respect because he put a whole company on his back that's not the WWE. But for Rollins, though, the reason it's hard for me to put him at number 3 is just because he may not be the most notable name compared to Roman, but he put the company on his back for a lot of the time, and he's always been old reliable. He's the guy who will go ahead and get you a bucket when you need him to get you a bucket, and
That's true.
And he also does the other aspect that a lot of wrestlers don't do, and it might kind of go into this last topic too. He's the dance partner, and he puts people over. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is not a big star without Seth Rollins.
Think about what he did between
CM Punk is not a big star without Seth Rollins, and it's the truth.
This is the funniest part. Think about what he did between 38 and 39. He put over Cody Rhodes, and then he made Logan Paul look like a real wrestler. And then we all believed it, and now it's been proven. But Seth doesn't get enough credit for that match. That was probably the most important match of Logan Paul's career.
Yeah.
You kidding me? He did the Shawn Michaels zipline entrance.
Like, I'm still upset by that.
Yeah,
of all things for you to do.
Goofy mascot outfit. Okay. So for our final topic though here, Shad, I'm going to need you to do me a favor. I want you to introduce this one for us just because there's a lot at hand here. We've got the Tegan Nox and AEW situation. It's been a weird one. This has been an internet gem, to say the very least. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Ben Allison has called my line, and he said, I need you to take us home with this last topic, Shot. And I said, Ben, for you, I'll do anything, bro, because this is the wrestler that you love. This is the wrestler from your home country, homeland, whatever you want to call it, over the seas, the whales. That is not here, but the point. Let me give you all a situation. Tegan Nox, formerly known as Tegan Nox, Nixon Newell, and her tag team partner, also her girlfriend, Miss Miranda Alizé, were scheduled to have a tag team match on Collision this past weekend. They've been having an ongoing storyline between Ty Conti, Ty Mello, and Anna Jay. They had a couple backstage segments over the last few weeks. They had a match against Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne. They have been a little bit of regulars on Collision the last couple of weeks, but I want to preface they are not signed AEW talent. This past weekend, they did not wrestle TJ in the tag team match, and reports from PW Insider and Fightful noted that they were not thrilled about the match time. Initially, it was reported that they didn't want to lose the match, but the truth came out is they did not like the match time. They thought the match time was a little bit too short for them, and they respectfully decided to not participate in the match. They didn't wrestle on Saturday. They did leave the building, and the match was wrestled between TJ and I believe the wrestler's name is Maya World and Hyon, who are also two independent wrestlers. Nixon Newell last night went on Twitch, her and Miranda Alizé, and they did speak about the topic. They kind of gave their side of the story. And a quote that she mentioned was, in regards to the story, she said, "We were polite, we were respectful. We called our producer over and said, I don't think 3 minutes is going to benefit either of us, not just us, but anyone in the tag team match. We want what's best for everyone. Respectfully, we deserve this to go to someone who can benefit from it." And went to other two females. Fair to them. There was never bad blood. We spoke to everyone involved. It wasn't a FU. We're leaving. We spoke to a lot of people about this, and they all came to agreement that 3 minutes wasn't going to do good for anyone. A lot of the people were in agreement with us, and the producer said, "No worries." They left the premise. They left the building. They said this, but there was been a lot of discourse online, and a lot of wrestlers from AEW have also spoken on it, saying that 3 minutes, you take whatever time you get, blah blah blah. And this has kind of been the just of everything going on with it. And a lot of people are saying that they kind of burned the bridge. I don't know. So yeah, this is kind of where we're at with the topic, guys.
It is fascinating, Shad. This is something that wasn't possible. Well, back in the day, by the way, we're looking at the other way. You look at the David Schultz situation and stuff. This is such an interesting break in kayfabe, right? Like, wait a minute. Hold on. They said no to the booking, right? And you've heard from both sides. 3 minutes doesn't sound like enough, but is it? It's more time than no minutes.
Look, man, I'm gonna be completely blunt. And I'm gonna be completely honest. If you are an independent wrestler and you are an independent wrestler like Nixon Newell, Tegan Knox, who has publicly stated that you are having a difficult time finding booking since you have left the WWE, you are given an opportunity for a booking, and you were given an opportunity for a booking on the second biggest promotion that is not WWE, and you decide that, nah, this isn't going to work for me. That is one of the most detrimental things you can do to yourself as a contractor and as an independent talent. That is a bridge you do not burn at all. The AEW, if that's the producer's decision, that's the producer's decision. Yes, they are very, very free to make that choice, but we are very, very free to criticize them for making that choice. And that is very unprofessional at that day to just basically say, yo, nah, we're not doing that. Like, nah, man, that's not how you do it at all. And y'all not like, the thing is this, bro, you're not owed anything. You're not contracted by them. Your job is to put over these people. Respectfully, I don't care that you used to work in NXT and WWE. In this situation, you are an enhancement talent, and you are to make those two women look good because they are the established team and contracted team in AEW.
Exactly.
You do your job.
And I could not agree with you more. You know what it really feels like is like the famous, like, do you know who I am? Right? Like, that's what it comes across as. And that always has grossed me out. That has always grossed me out. Anybody that does that, do you know who I am? It's like, I don't care. Even if I did know, it's not cool to do that ever. That's just not how you act, right? My mama would not allow that. That's all I'm saying. Absolutely not. And shouldn't. Angie, I got to get your thoughts on this though. When it comes to the booking situation there and just walking out, it's an odd deal for AEW. I don't know if anybody's in the wrong or if everybody's in the wrong, but I want to get your thoughts on it.
So my whole thing on that is like a 3-minute match doesn't feel like a lot of time, especially when you've got decorated wrestlers like competing against each other. Like, sure, getting getting as much time as you can to go ahead and like be seen and everything. I completely get that, but you could still put somebody over in at least a little bit more time than that. So I can understand why like that frustration would be there, why it just kind of feels like nothing's really being gained from it. But I also agree with you guys, like, hey, like you should take whatever time you can so that way you can at least be able to, you know, get a little money in your pocket, make sure like you're actually seen, make sure that like you can show people like, hey, like, but I feel like if you're going to show people who you are, I feel like 3 minutes isn't enough time. Like a good, like give it a solid at least 10-minute match, or maybe even a little less than that. But 3 minutes feels like it's too short. So like I can kind of get where they're coming from.
I get why. I do get 3 minutes seems very short, but I still, it is what it is.
But they aren't. But the thing is this though, we have a roster full of women that are signed onto Dynamite, like or onto AEW to Ring of Honor. Like they could. There was a thread between like people like Nyla Rose, Taya Valkyria, like a bunch of people that are saying like, shoot, I take 3 minutes. I get jobbed out by them if you need me to do just to be on TV. And for them, it's independent. Like that's the thing. Beggars in this situation, I feel like a beggar can't be a chooser. Like you can't call your shot for that long of a match when you are like you're an enhancement talent. Like I really am not trying to short sell her as a talent, but like sometimes this is exactly what Darby Allin was saying in Ariel Helwani. He was saying that there are people that are poison to the industry because they don't want to lose or they want to see things go within their way and they feel like they're bigger than the job or bigger than the position. And that's to me, like I don't know Tegan Knox from a can of paint and I can't speak for her, but a lot of people are saying, well, she used to be in the WWE. Who cares?
It's true.
Like,
let me
cares.
I'm so with you. Let me run through some comments really quick before we go home, just because we're running out of time. But I appreciate this because Donnie De Silva is somebody in the comments, a friend of ours. As much as I like to joke back and forth with you, Donnie, one of the few people I know that has produced a professional wrestling match of relevance. The producer said no worries because they aren't going to try and convince uncontracted people to stay and do their jobs. So leave. You won't be back. I think that's the case here. That's where my mind went immediately. We also have WrestleManiac UK with Nixon has been online complaining she ain't getting bookings. Then when you get a booking, you complain about the time. Talk to your girl, Ben. That cracked me up. I have to say that.
Wales, take this L. Yeah. Ben Allison, hold this L.
Hey, I've always been a fan of Free Willy, but that's a tough day for Wales today. If Tegan ever asked someone if they knew who was, most people would say no. Who are you? Oh my goodness, did not see that one there. That I love that 100%. But with that, that is going to bring us to the end of the show. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. We love y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Thank you everybody that submitted takes and questions and whatnot for Mailbag Monday. We've got a great week coming up, no doubt about it. On behalf of me, Clark, Angie, and Shad, have a great rest of your Monday. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Of course, that's noon Pacific, 3 o'clock over on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the UK, and 9 a.m. for my good friends in Hawaii. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.
Take that, Ben.